With the MLB offseason set to begin after the conclusion of the World Series, free agency will shortly begin after. Although there are the common names that are currently in the MLB, what about some of the players set to come from Japan and Korea? We have seen in the past the bidding wars for players like Shohei Ohtani and Kodai Senga, who came from the NPB in Japan, as well as someone like Jung Hoo Lee, who chose the Pittsburgh Pirates after being in the KBO. Looking at this year's class, there are three specific names that stand out and are looking to make the jumps from these top leagues around the world and come into the MLB. Let's take a look at these three guys and make a prediction on where they could possibly end up. Let's start with the two pitchers in this group of three. Let's start with the player that is probably set to get the most interest this winter, this being Japanese pitching phenom Yoshinobu Yamamoto. To put it simply, Yamamoto is going to go down as one of the greatest Japanese pitchers of all time. He is honestly just nothing but amazing. Another way to describe him is a Triple Crown master. Yep, you heard that right, Triple Crowns. And what if I told you he has won 3 straight? Yes, again, that was 3 straight. Yamamoto has led the NPB in each of the last 3 seasons in pitching wins, ERA, and strikeouts. After the Triple Crown he won this season, he has now become the first pitcher in NPB history to win the Triple Crown for pitching in 3 straight seasons. This is the pitcher that every team should want and should be in on. He is nothing short of historic and could go down as one of the most talented pitchers to come to the MLB from overseas since the likes of Shohei Ohtani and Kodai Senga. Looking at these crazy statistics, I want to start with his previous 3 seasons where he won all of these Triple Crowns. During his tenure with the Oryx Buffaloes, he won all of these. In 2021, the year that he started this amazing streak, he went 18-5 with a 1.39 ERA. The strikeouts, well, he had a total of 206. Yep, you heard that right, 206. If those were his numbers in the MLB this season, he would have ranked 13th in strikeouts, but first by a good margin in ERA. Let's move on to his 2022 season. In 2022, he went 15-5, so 3 less wins, and sadly saw his ERA go up a tad. You might think if his ERA went up, it must have been around 2, right? Nope, it was 1.68. His strikeout total dropped by 1 to 205. And what about this year in 2023? Well, he still won that Triple Crown. Yamamoto had a record of 16-6 and a career-best 1.21 ERA. However, his strikeout totals did go down to 169, which is still good and amazing. Yamamoto is clearly going to get the most interest this offseason, as almost every team in the MLB has been sending scouts to go watch him pitch in the NPB. At the end of this video, I will give my prediction on where I think he is going to go this offseason and which 3 teams have the best shot. I will be doing this as well with the other 2 players that I will be talking about later in the video. The second pitcher that I want to look at is also from the NPB, this being pitcher Shota Imanaga. Imanaga didn't get much traction before this NPB season, but has recently emerged as the second best pitcher on the market when it comes to international free agents. Imanaga comes from the Bay Stars located in Yokohama, Japan. Now at age 30, he put up a very solid season in 2023. In 2023, he saw a total record of 7-4 with a 2.80 ERA. He also recorded 174 strikeouts. When it comes to pitching options for teams to pick up this season, Imanaga is still a very solid pitching option despite these higher numbers while being compared to Yamamoto. In his entire career, Imanaga has had a career record of 64-50 in the NPB and an ERA of 3.18 while in the highest ranking league in Japan. Personally, with Imanaga, I am most impressed by his per 9 numbers. Let's talk about his strikeouts. During his time in the NPB, Imanaga has had a career total of 1,021 strikeouts, this being in a total of 8 NPB seasons. Now moving on to his per 9 stats in his career. During these 8 NPB seasons, his strikeouts per 9 have particularly been impressive. He has a career strikeouts per 9 of 9.2. This number could play very well in the big leagues with a number of MLB teams that could be looking for a solid pitching option in free agency that could come at a reasonably cheaper price compared to the likes of Shohei Ohtani, Aaron Nola, and even Yoshinobu Yamamoto. I expect a lot of small market teams to be possibly in on Shota Imanaga this coming offseason. Now let's talk about one more player set to come to the MLB. This player personally is by far my favorite player out of the group we have discussed. This, of course, being KBO star Jung Hoo Lee. Jung Hoo Lee is an outfielder who has played for the Kiwoom Heroes his last 5 seasons in the KBO. Lee is basically what you could call a hitting machine. He is also what I would like to call a contact specialist. Let me just say, in his complete KBO career since the year 2017, he has never hit below 300. And let me add even more to that. He has never hit below 318. That season he hit 318 was this last season in 2023, where he sadly suffered a fractured left ankle that ended his 2023 campaign. Before the injury, he batted that .318 with 6 home runs and 45 RBIs. He played a total of 86 games with 330 at-bats. These numbers, of course, still being very well for having a shortened season. However, I want to talk about his 2022 season, the one in which he won KBO MVP. It as well got him a bunch of attention from MLB teams and their scouts. In 2022, Lee played a total of 142 games and had a total of 553 at-bats. These numbers that he had in his 2022 campaign were nothing short of amazing. He posted a batting average of .349, 23 home runs, and 113 RBIs. Very solid numbers for the Korean phenom. And speaking of phenoms, he is the son of another KBO phenom, his own father. He basically comes from a family of baseball royalty in Korea. Looking at Lee's career in the KBO, he has posted a career average of .340. Yes, you heard that right, a career batting average of .340. An amazing feat to have. In 2021, I also just want to add that he had an amazing batting average of .360. The 23 home runs that he had in his 2022 campaign were a career high for him. His highest he had in a season since 2020 when he hit 15. So power has not been one of his strongest aspects to his game, but the contact is what is most impressive and what makes his game thrive. I will also add to his power statement that whenever he hits a ball over the fence, his swing is absolutely gorgeous. Lee is nothing short of a professional hitter, and I feel like he is set to thrive in the MLB. His game reminds me of Ichiro so much, and that is what makes me the most excited, as Ichiro is one of my all-time favorites in MLB history. I expect Lee to thrive wherever he goes and immediately man the center field position, as well as bat in the leadoff spot for any team. The bat might take some adjusting to MLB pitching, but Lee will definitely be the one to make that happen. Okay, well now we are at the point of the video where you want to hear where I think these guys are going, and I will warn you now. Some of these predictions are going to sound absolutely crazy, but please just hear me out on these. Let's start with the two pitchers. Where does Yamamoto go? Well, he is definitely going to get the most money out of these three players by possibly a very large margin. With that being said, I think a bunch of major market teams will be in on him. Let me just name three of these teams that I am going to predict. Let's just say the New York Mets, St. Louis Cardinals, and San Francisco Giants. All of these teams had underwhelming seasons, with the Mets and Cardinals having rough full seasons. The Giants, however, kind of collapsed in the final month. With that being said, where does he go? As an avid New York Mets hater personally, I am sadly going to say he is going to go to the New York Mets. With the addition they made with getting Senga last season from the NPB, this could help trying to get Yamamoto. So I am going to take the New York Mets here. They are the team I think is going to spend the money and hope he just does well in the MLB as he did in the NPB. Now we move on to Shota Imanaga. Like I said previously, I don't think the contract Imanaga will get will be as high as Yamamoto's. Imanaga could get a lot of interest from smaller market teams as well as the normal major markets like the New Yorks and LAs in the MLB. Here are my three predictions for his landing spot. I'm going to predict the Toronto Blue Jays, Arizona Diamondbacks, and St. Louis Cardinals will all be in on him. All of these teams are in interesting points of their team history. The Cardinals are coming off one of their worst seasons in their recent history, the Blue Jays are a couple pitchers away from a solid playoff contender, and the Diamondbacks now are a top team in the NL with a bunch of talent and could be looking to add another starter to complement Zach Gallen. With all of this being said, I am going to take the Diamondbacks to get him. I think they are a smaller market team that will be in on Imanaga and pay the price for him. And finally, there is Jung Hoo Lee. This prediction might shock a lot of people. With Lee's injury, I am expecting him to not get as big of a contract as he was set to receive. With this being said, I think many teams will be involved, and he could have more so of a bidding war for his services. So here are my predictions, and let me warn you, these will be everywhere. My three picks are the San Diego Padres, Pittsburgh Pirates, and Seattle Mariners. Yep, a very wild group of three. The Padres were very disappointing in 2023, and with the current Korean star Ha-seong Kim in the lineup, this could help with acquiring Lee. The Seattle Mariners were in on Shohei Ohtani, and after they fell short, I always thought they would be in on the next bat from Korea or Japan, and they will. Here is that moment. And finally, we have the Pirates. Yes, the team that is my favorite, and let me explain how this makes sense for all those shaking their heads thinking this is going to be stupid. The Pirates are coming off of a season full of growth, and next year could be in the race for a wildcard spot in 2024. Jack Sawinski was solid in center field, but I see him more as a DH since his bat was known to disappear for periods at a time. If the Pirates can add a solid contact-hitting outfielder that can bat anywhere in the order, they could be a dangerous team, especially since it appears the Pirates might be starting to spend some money this coming offseason. With all of this being said, and with as little bias as possible, I am going to take the Pirates here. In recent history with KBO players, the Pirates have been in on them. They got Jung Ho Gung, they were in on Byung-ho Park, Expect the Buccos to be a mystery team that no one sees coming, and then they get Jung Hoo Lee. With all of this being said, this offseason is going to be exciting. I am excited to see which teams are in on these three, and I'm eager to see if any of these guys can live up to what Shohei Ohtani has become since he came into the MLB from Japan. All of these guys are going to be awesome and fun to watch, and I expect a lot of great things from all of them. Make sure to like this video and subscribe for more content.